So Dean Weirdy wore a Snoopy tie with the price tag still attached. Esther wore a wide sun hat, even though the ceremony took place in their apartment. Uh, so interesting outfits, people getting married. Uh, the justice of the peace who married them was so disturbed and confused by their behavior that he asked them if they had been drinking. Dean had been seen walking around outside in the months after the marriage wearing Esther's clothes. A neighbor says that while 55-year-old Esther, she favored wigs and had been a very conservative dresser prior to meeting and marrying Dean. She soon began to wear mini skirts that were 2 sizes too small. And nobody disputes the facts of a strange May-December marriage. The only question, Dean Wride's lawyer said, is his client's mental state. So, we're talking about a short and stocky guy, Weirdy or Wride, wears his brown hair in a short military style. He has a mustache and gold-rimmed glasses, and he was shackled and handcuffed in blue prison denims with a burly sheriff's officer nearby. So I guess this couple married in April 1996 in that unusual wedding. It was witnessed by Susan Steffens, a sister of the apartment building caretaker where the couple lived at the time. I guess Steffens and her boyfriend filled in as witnesses to the ceremony. Weirdy told Steffens he was a photographer, then handed her a disposable camera to take a wedding photo. Steffens said in the past she had seen Weirdy Wride walking outside in the winter in sandals. After the wedding, the couple moved to a nearby apartment block where caretaker Regina Sawatsky said Wride would often say strange things. He talked of his belief that Indians were planning to kill him. He said he found a feather by his suite door and said he was on the list and they would come and kill him, she said. So yeah, sounds like a bit of a weird guy. Not sure what he's talking about. But he's in a trial of some sort. So, what happened? His lawyer's talking. He obviously got picked up for something. So, apparently Reynold Jourdain accompanied Weirdy back to his apartment on July 5th, 1996. Wride was going to pick up a check to cash so the two could go for coffee. I asked to use the washroom, said Jourdain. He said, yeah. Court was also told the fact his wife's mangled body was decomposing in the tub. It didn't stop Weirdy from letting an acquaintance use his bathroom. So Jourdain stayed only 30 seconds in the room with the mutilated corpse. She said, I couldn't tell whether it was male or female. Jourdain didn't call the police. Instead, he went for a walk with Wride, advised him to go himself to the police station, and then he went home. So, I mean, this city is very unique. I'm not gonna lay everything at the feet of inbreeding or abuse of substances while carrying, but at a certain point, man, like, what? Hey, can I use your bathroom? Oh yeah, sure, go ahead. No, I'm good. There's a rotting corpse in there. You should probably turn yourself in. Well, yeah, I probably should, eh? All right, well, I gotta head off. I still gotta take this piss or whatever. Like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on in general. But this is 96, summer 96. So, I don't know what would be going through anybody's head, I guess. So the defense lawyer is Greg Brodsky. He, uh, he, he opens with, he killed her. That's what he tells the judge on the opening day. The issue, your lordship, will be asked to decide what was his state of mind. So, Wride, or Weirdy, now 32, walked into the Winnipeg police station on July 25th, 1996, said he wanted to report the assisted suicide of his 55-year-old wife just 3 months, just 3 months. So they were married for 3 months. He goes in, he turns himself in, he says, I helped my wife kill herself, I guess. So he's talking about his wife, Esther Johns, Weirdy, or Wride. She told me that she didn't want to live anymore, Wride told Constable Scott Wiley. He said she died 3 days later. She took 3 bottles of pills. When it was taking too long, she asked me to help, so I cut her wrists. Wiley said Wride told him. A car was sent to the apartment Wride and his wife shared, and her body was found in the bathtub. It was slit, sternum to groin. You know, this isn't the first episode about somebody turning themselves in regards to a lover's corpse in their bathtub, slit, sternum to throat. It's not. So, no, I don't believe Susan Sarandon's necklace was involved in this one. But this doesn't seem to be the same as that other situation, I don't believe. So we'll have to look at this. So he says she helped her kill herself, but I mean, she slit from sternum to groin. One eye had been removed. That happened in another situation, along with a fist-sized chunk of flesh from the abdomen. Okay, the nose was a ruin, and wax from a raspberry-scented candle had been dripped over and onto various parts of the body. Now, I don't know if that's to cover the smell, if this is ritualistic, or what's going on. The eyes are a symbolic thing. So he removed the eyes, some flesh, missing, I'm not sure. Where, see, there's, in the other situations, there's organs missing, there's flesh missing. I just go with maybe they flushed it down the toilet. I don't want to jump to they ate it. I don't really know where they're being found in these bathtubs and where their parts are going missing in Winnipeg. But so what is the state of mind, right? He had walked in there. He confessed to it. There's wax all over the body, some raspberry scented candle. The chunks are missing. I guess Drano and baking soda had been used on the body. Some of the missing flesh was found by the police officers cooked on a plate in the fridge next to a pot of cold chicken. Okay, so let's not make any... We have it confirmed it was next to the chicken. So it wasn't missing. We located that in this case. Also in the kitchen were cooking utensils, which DNA testing proved had been used to handle and prepare the flesh. Brodsky asked the judge to dismiss the jury and have the trial proceed by judge alone. So, Brodsky's getting good at this, I feel like, eventually, in certain ones. So, throughout the grisly testimony, Wride sat alternately looking very serious or smiling, even suppressing a quiet giggle at times. Occasionally he yawned. I don't know. It's kind of like the Joker or somebody or something. I don't know. Dean Wride was found not criminally responsible for his role in the murder and cannibalism of his wife Esther in their East Kildonan home in the latter part of the 1990s. But he will likely be held indefinitely in a secure facility where public safety is assured to some degree. So there are non-violent crimes that have been excused due to non-criminal responsibility as well. Bradley Singer was caught running a sophisticated marijuana and cocaine operation in 1998. He claimed God placed drugs on Earth so he could tell them and make people happy, and doctors deemed Singer to be paranoid schizophrenic, saying he believes he has been given a duty to bring happiness to people through drugs. Bradley was found not criminally responsible on account of mental disorder on February 5, 2002, following a trial in the Court of Queen's Bench on charges of unlawfully producing and unlawfully possessing for the purpose of trafficking a controlled substance, which was cannabis, resin, and marijuana, respectively. This was, I guess, dated back on October 23rd, 1998. He also unlawfully possessed and controlled the substance cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. He also was in possession of a prohibited weapon, which was just bear spray. Bradley essentially then had to serve a life sentence for a nonviolent crime as a result. So, Earl Joel Joey Wiebe, 37, was found not criminally responsible. So, I don't even know what to make of some of this. I'm going to keep going with people. That guy, he just didn't see nothing wrong with what he was doing. And in Canada, they can't technically convict you of a crime if you didn't think what you did was wrong. That's the way the law is written here. So it's interesting, that one. I don't know how you say that you're selling drugs to make people happy, but you got bear spray on you. And I mean, I don't know. If we would have left it at the weed, we could have maybe been like, okay, it's like a hippie guy, maybe he's a little bit loopy, but the cocaine, like, I don't know, maybe people are getting happy off of that. So some of these guys, that they have interesting stories. Earl Joel Joey Wiebe, who's 37, was found not criminally responsible on account of a mental disorder for the May 2nd, 2000 second-degree murder of Candace Mosier, who's 39, his stepmother, on her acreage near Niverville, Manitoba. He was 17 at the time. He was tried as an adult in adult court on the sole issue of his mental state, with evidence about his fascination with Nazism, Satanism, and the Mafia, and the trauma of witnessing his father abuse his biological mother over many years. Expert witnesses described the killing as the result of a psychotic episode related to borderline personality disorder. In the middle of the night, he choked Mosier, slit her throat, tried to burn down the house, wrote a note of apology, took his stepsister away in a truck, and presented himself to police almost immediately. So that one's not really as funny. 2 decades later, as an involuntary mental patient trying in vain to escape medicine that a source familiar with his care alleged was being used to control him, not treat him. Wiebe may be representative of a serious systemic problem in mental health law, according to a legal expert. Patients like Wiebe, who some say can neither be effectively treated nor safely released, neither helped nor punished, instead get stuck in forensic psychiatric limbo, in Wiebe's case, for far longer than any second-degree murder prison term. It is a different kind of life sentence. So the argument is kind of that if he wasn't deemed not criminally responsible, he'd be out of jail by now. Technically. Like, they don't technically really have a legal right to keep him. In a sense. Like, you're keeping him beyond... He should have his opportunity at least at some type of parole or something like that, because he's served his time. And I mean, you know, so you have to, yeah, it's the law. You're supposed to kind of, like, it's either you have the law or you don't have it. So either way, he's kind of serving a life sentence of a different kind. Seclusion and restraint, whether mechanical like being strapped to a bed, chemical like being injected with tranquilizers, or environmental like being confined to a seclusion room, is an extremely troubling area that right now requires a lot of scrutiny. And Anita Zgidi, a leading Ontario mental health lawyer and co-author with Michael Davies of the new book, A Guide to Mental Disorder Law in Canadian Criminal Justice. For accused persons in the review board system, nothing happens to them is lawfully punitive because the system is not about punishment. Zgidi, who is not involved in Wiebe's case, she says restraint in general poses risks of injury or death and is never justified as punishment. Everything's meant to be therapeutic. So it's just talking about the fact that they're strapping down these patients in these mental facilities. It's not for punishment, it's supposed to be for their therapy. She says she's seen it all over and over again, rotating between seclusion room and prison cell for 2 decades, as he repeatedly commits crimes like mischief, assault, and uttering threats, then pleads guilty or violates terms of release in order to escape hospital for what he sees as the comparative freedom and comfort of jail, where they do not force medication. So in 2012, he was sentenced to 5 years in federal penitentiary, but still ended up back in Selkirk. It's so horrible in here, Wiebe said on the phone. They don't offer you your dignity. You don't have the same rights and liberty you have in jail. So he is to a point where he says, look, if you're not going to let me out, at least let me just do my time in jail. And they're kind of like, well, no. Like, because we can't. You're not even really supposed to be in jail. Okay, well, that's fine. Let me just commit some crimes and then I'll go to jail. Like, how do we work this? Because I'm like, so... It's crazy, you know? But he's trying to get to jail, basically. So but he's, you know, so now he's bucking the hospital. Right after this, the hospital staff came for him and hung up the phone. So Wiebe had previously indicated he would resist the knockout injection. He is alleged to have caused such a scene on that Monday that the police were called. He allegedly kicked the seclusion room door, breaking a lock, which led him into a hallway with a locked door onto the main patient area. So police allege he damaged a window with a magnet from a broken lock. He alleged that during the restraint and injection, a nurse's assistant was injured so badly he was hospitalized. This behavior was extreme but familiar to those who have to deal with it, both clinicians and police. So Selkirk RCMP took Wiebe into custody, charged him just as their 24-hour window expired. He was in video court in Winnipeg remand. Had his lawyer. He's facing charges of prison breach and mischief over 5,000. He was still under powerful neuroleptic effects of the antipsychotic drug Zuclopenthixol, according to an employee of the Selkirk Mental Health Center who was involved with Wiebe's treatment until recently. It makes you tired until you sleep, and you just sleep for 3 days, Wiebe said in the phone call last Monday. He called it Super Haldol, after the common schizophrenia drug. It leaves them with barely the ability to eat before crashing again. It's horrible. It feels like a clenching. Your whole nervous system is clenching. So some antipsychotic medications, I guess, are different than others. Different doses, different amounts. What he was on, it seems like it wasn't agreeing with him, and it was kind of like he took some knockout shots. He's heavily medicated, so he's in jail, but like they're just drugging him like crazy. So the charge prison breach refers to the unproven police allegation he broke out of a seclusion room with the intent to escape. Mischief refers to the doors and windows. There's no charge in relation to the allegations of an injured staff member, but Zeman said prosecutors determining whether to lay an aggravated assault charge. Wiebe has not yet had a bail hearing at that time. Bail would likely mean a return to Selkirk, just like the other times. So, yeah, it's, like what do you do with some of these situations? The hospital staff room said Wiebe is not psychotic. His working diagnosis are borderline personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, and there is long-standing dispute over these, according to the source. Neither are treated with Zuclopenthixol, so his injection on Monday was less medicine than security-related tranquilization, the source said, adding that Wiebe has been threatened with the injection before, and most recently had it administered in July after a similar episode of kicking a door, leading to a report to police, but not charges. So I guess his thing is like he kind of is trying to escape. And when they kind of try to wrangle him up, they put a charge on him, I guess, and they've been through this a time or two. They don't always charge him, but I guess if he kicks somebody this time, well, now we got to charge him or get him out of here. So, I don't know. Nobody's really dying to deal with this. So it's sort of hanging over his head. And if he gets out of line again, then that's what's going to happen is he's going to get this shot or whatever. But the guy who's talking about this didn't agree to be identified. He said they don't know how to treat him, so it just tends to be punitive. So I guess this somebody doesn't really agree with drugging people, knocking them out when they don't behave. Both the anonymous source and the lawyer, Zeman, spoke to the Post with Wiebe's permission. Decision makers are human, said the guy. Long-term detainees in the review board system can come to seem recalcitrant, incorrigible, hopeless. So I'm not a thesaurus guy, but I'm thinking he just means like they've been here for so long. Like we were not trying to rehabilitate nothing at this point. Like we're just waiting for this guy to die. We're just trying to, like, I don't even know. Like, there's no redeeming a life for him or anything outside of that, apparently. So, they've, it's sad. Like, I don't know. Like, so they're just tell him, like, well, if you don't act civilized, we're going to drug you. So the years ticked for Wiebe. He was marked by conflict. He was charged with threats. A few months after, he went to the jail. He was found to be in a sexual relationship with a female staff member at the jail and possessed contraband including a hunting knife, razor blades, and empty liquor bottles. So, so he was placed in seclusion, where he started a fire with his clothes, setting off an alarm that unlocked all the doors in the secure forensic unit, releasing all the patients to much consternation. Again, he was charged criminally, jailed, and returned a few months later, placed again in seclusion, and the pattern repeated. One time he put the... I'm hoping it didn't repeat with the staff member. Because now, like, I'm just like, it's too much with this town sometimes. I'm not gonna downplay it. It's just like, it's too much. You know, it's like it's Gotham. Like, it's insanity. Literally, the patients are running the nut house, literally, because this guy is fucking on this one, bringing me the booze. What did he have there? A knife? A hunting knife? Like, what? Like, no, he can't have a hunting knife. He's got razor blades, he's sipping, he's pouring up. It's another shot. You just got the empties. You like, stop it. Like, so we're gonna have to continue on with this one. I need a minute, I think, and then we'll resume it. But to say the least, Wiebe, he's in there, he's doing him, and we'll talk about more of what a psychiatrist had to say about him. But just give me a second, gather myself.